Okay, so what needs done first?
Add 18.
Add 18 to both sides. Negative 35 plus 18. Somebody type it in. Negative 17. Okay, look at number 3. Who's the kid? Who needs to move first?
10.
The 10. How do I move a minus 10?
Add 10.
Plus 10, plus 10. Is Jordan not here today?
He's sick.
So we got negative 2. Then what? Multiply both sides by 7. I'm going to get x and a negative 14. Okay, number 5. What needs done first?
Multiply.
Distribute, multiply. Okay, negative 5 times 7 is going to be negative 35. Negative 5 times negative 4 is a positive 20x equals negative 195. Okay, and then what?
Add 35.
Add 35 to both sides. So I'm going to get 20x equals, what is negative 195 plus 35? Negative 160. Okay, and then what needs done? We need to divide by 20. So we get x equals what?
Negative 8.
Negative 8. Okay, 7 through 9, 12 are all about inequalities. Okay, what kind of dot is that one? Open or closed dot? It's an open dot, and this is closed. So this would be a good notes. And then when do we flip our sign? When do we have to flip our sign? You guys remember? Yeah, so we need to flip the sign when you times or divide by negative. Okay, so if we look at number 7, what needs done? Divide by negative 10. Okay, so I'm gonna write this down here. Okay, we're gonna divide by negative 10. So do we need to flip our sign? Yeah, we divided by a negative. Okay, on the 0, should that be open or closed?
Closed.
Should be closed. And which way is it going to go? To the left or to the right?
Right.
To the right. Okay, without even doing number 9, I can tell you that your answer should be between 7 and 17, and it should have an open dot. Okay, so if you really didn't know what was going on or whatever, okay, throw a dot on there, guess, do whatever you gotta do, okay, to get it close enough. Okay, however, who is the kid? Who's the kid? Who needs to move first?
9.
The 9. Okay, so we're gonna times both sides by 9. So we're gonna say times 9 times 9. So I'm gonna get 5 plus n, 18. And then I'm gonna subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, so on the 13 is gonna be open and going to the left. Okay, 11. Our very first step is gonna be to combine, so 6 plus 1 is gonna be 7, so I'm really gonna have n plus 7 and a 14. Then what needs done? Minus 7 from both sides. So we get 7. Okay, it's gonna be closed, going to the right.
How do you know which way it is to the right?
So you have to kind of look at the alligator mouth. Is the bigger part of the mouth, meaning chomping, going towards the letter? If so, that means greater than. Okay, so it's gonna go to the right. Okay, 13, it says find the slope. Okay, so essentially is how much do we rise, how much do we run? How much do we go up, how much do we go over? 2 over 2. Okay, and somewhere on here you probably need to write yourself a note. You do need to reduce the fraction. Okay, a lot of you guys forget to reduce the fraction and then your problem's wrong. Okay, so it's really going to be 1 over 1, or when you reduce, you put it in the calculator and you're just going to get 1. As well as it's a negative, okay?
Well, how is it negative?
So, and that's what, so if the line is going this way, it's going to be negative. If the line's going this way, it's going to be a positive. Okay, so again, you can use this on your test. So if you need the notes, write them down. If you don't, then don't worry about it. Okay, 15 says find the slope of the line through each pair of points. Write this formula down. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Worry about it. Okay, and so if you have the formula, it's not that bad. The rest you can just do on the calculator, okay? So it's going to be 5 minus 1 over 1 minus negative 13. Okay, so type that in your calculator, see what you get.
2 over 7.
2 over 7?
Yeah.
Okay, 17 says find the slope of the line. Which one is the slope?
It's a lot.
Which one is the slope?
Negative 5.
Negative 5 over 3. So the slope is always the number that's here next to the x. So we're going to say m equals negative 5 over 3. Okay, number 19 says write the slope-intercept form of the line. Okay, so I want you to write it. Y equals mx plus b. This is my m, this is my b. Okay, so it's going to look like y equals 8 over 3x minus 4. Can I scroll? Okay, 21. Says write the point slope form of the line. So it's going to look like y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, and this is my x1, y1, and that's my m. Okay, so we're gonna say y minus 3 equals 5, x minus 1. Okay, 23, you're gonna need two formulas. The first formula is gonna be this one, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The second formula is gonna be that y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, so you're gonna need both of those formulas on this one. Okay, so it's gonna look like -2 minus 5 over -3 minus -1. Okay, type that in your calculator, see what you get.
Seven over two.
7 over 2. Okay, and so this is my m. Okay, so now it's gonna look like y minus my y1 is 5 equals my m, which is 7 over 2. X minus my x1 is -1. Okay, and if you recall, what do we do with a minus minus?
Turn it to a plus.
We have to turn it to a plus, okay? So right here where it says minus minus really needs to be a +1. Okay, and so this is our final answer after you do both those steps. Okay, for 25, you have two steps, okay? You need to distribute is gonna be your first step, which means multiply, and then add or subtract, okay? And so it kind of depends on what number we need to add or subtract. So our first step is gonna be to distribute. So we're gonna get y minus 1 equals -2/3 x. -2/3 times -3, okay, is gonna be a positive 2 when we multiply -2/3 times -3. Okay, and then are we gonna add or subtract? We need to add or subtract. We're gonna add 1 to both sides. Bless you. Okay, so we're gonna get y equals -2/3 x plus 3. Bless you again. Okay, 27 is solved by graphing. Okay, this is where we graph the two lines on one. Okay, there's no shading. It's kind of like what we did yesterday, but just no shading. Okay, so line 1 starts where? At +2. And it has a slope of up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Okay, or down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Okay, and if you remember line 1, you have to do all the dots you can. Okay, line 2 starts at 4. Starts at 4, and my slope is 3/2. So I cannot go up 3, so I'm gonna have to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2. Okay, and we see that that dot was blue and purple. Okay, and so that's our intersection point. That's where the two graphs intersect. Okay, and if you remember, you have to write that coordinate out. So what is that coordinate?
One and negative
-2,
two.
1. Okay, it goes x, comma, y. We got 4 left. Okay, solve by substitution. Okay, which one says y equals? The first one. So we're gonna take that and put it into the other one. So it's gonna look like -2x minus 2. Now instead of y, what am I putting? A 1. Okay, so a 1 equals 2. Okay, and then we're gonna do the parentheses first. So I got -2x. What is -2 times 1? -2 equals 2. Okay, and then what? Who's the kid? -2, so we're gonna add 2 to both sides. So we get -2x equals 4. And then divide by -2. So we get x equals -2. What is our coordinate? We gotta write our answer, and this ain't it. -2, 1. Okay, so we write it as x, y for our answer, so it's -2, 1. Okay, 31, is elimination. Who can eliminate? Who's gonna get eliminated? The x's or the y's? The y's, why the y's?
Both, there's one negative on it.
Yeah, so it's the y's because they're both the same number, and there is one, so if the one is negative, one's a positive, we can add them together. So, we're gonna say plus. -4 plus -2 is going to be a -6x. 8 plus -8 is 0, so the y's cancel. -4 plus 22 is going to be 18.
Where's that?
What?
Right over divided by 6. Yeah.
Divide by 6, yeah?
That's divide by 6.
No, I'm going to divide by 6. Huh? Oh, -6. Yeah, but I got to divide. Oh, yeah. Okay, so my x is going to be -3. Okay, and then from here, we're going to pick an equation. Which one do you want to use, equation 1 or equation 2? Equation 1? Okay, so write down equation 1. Okay, and who did we find already? Did we find the x or did we find the y? We found the x. And what is the x? -3. Okay, so right here is going to go parenthesis -3.
Those sides still gonna be there?
Yeah, I don't have enough room. Okay, so -4 times -3 is gonna be a positive 12 plus 8y equals a -4. And then what?
Minus 12.
Minus 12. I get 8y equals -16. And then divide by 8. So I get y equals -2.
-3, comma
-3 comma -2. Good. Okay, 33 looks very similar except for, so what's gonna cancel, the x's or the y's? The x's, except for, the x's have the same sign, they're both plus. So you have to change the signs on one of them. Okay, so this one is gonna be a -2, -10, and 0 is still 0, but if you wanna put, you can put a minus. And then we can add them together. Because they're the same sign, we need them to be different signs. Because if you add 2 plus 2 is 4. That doesn't cancel. 2 plus a -2 is 0. That does cancel. Okay, so it only cancels if the signs are different. Okay, so the 2's are going to cancel. We got 9 plus -10 is going to be -1y equals 1. Divide by -1. So we get y equals -1. Which equation do we have to plug back into? The first one. Why the first one? Yeah, so when we plug it back in, you gotta use an original equation, something that has not been changed. And we changed equation 2, so you gotta use equation 1. Okay, so it's gonna look like 2x plus 9y equals 1. And instead of y, what can I put? -1. Okay, so right here is gonna be -1. Okay, so it's gonna look like 2x minus 9 equals 1. We're gonna add 9 on both sides. So I got 2x equals 10. And divide by 2. So we get x equals 5. Okay, last one, 35. Where does line 1 start out at?
2.
Positive 2. And it has a slope of 1. Is it going to be solid or dotted? Dotted line. Are we going to shade above or below? Above. Line 2 is going to start out at -3, and we're going to go up 2 over 3 until we intersect. This one's going to be a solid line shaded below. Okay, so that's going to be my shaded section. Okay, somewhere on your sheet, definitely write these notes on there. That way you have them. If you need them, if